Howdy YouTube, a really special review for you guys today. We're taking a look at the DC Collectibles Batman Arkham Knight. Certainly one of the most anticipated figures of 2015. Certainly a great video game as well. Very predictable. There are going to be some spoilers in this review, so if you still haven't beaten the game yet or you don't know who the Arkham Knight is, just keep that in the back of your mind. I will be comparing him to Red Hood and some of the other characters in the series as well. But I'll officially start the review now. Very predictable that Jason Todd was going to be the Arkham Knight. I think they gave it away way too easily. They could have built it up a lot more. There was some speculation before the game that it might have been, Talia or Ra's al Ghul. The fact that it was Jason Todd I thought was a little bit lame. The setup was very predictable. I do like that they created the Arkham Knight persona for him. I think that was a good idea, just to have someone special and unique to the Arkham universe, which is probably my favourite Batman universe that they've created so far. Certainly really cool. Visually, the design of the character is awesome. I think some of the boss battles with him were the highlights of the game, in particular the one where he's chasing you in the big bulldozer, and then the sniper battle. But it would have been great if the game had given us a hand-to-hand combat fight with the Arkham Knight. So let's get this guy opened up out of packaging and hopefully give you guys a cool review. And taking a look at the back of the packaging, we see the other figures in the set, of course, are Batman, Arkham Knight, Scarecrow, and Harley Quinn. I have now reviewed all of these figures, so make sure you check those out on my channel. One of the things that DC Collectibles have done a really great job with is improving the quality of their figures. So far, the Arkham Knight ones have been fantastic, and that also can be said for the Flash and Arrow figures as well. So, really excited to get this guy opened up. And here we have the figure opened up and out of packaging. Certainly really awesome. Very happy with the way this guy turned out. I'll bring it forward so you guys can take a look at the face, or rather the absence of a face. The Arkham Knight mask. One thing I would have liked on the figure is if they had given a bit of detail. Obviously, those who have played the game know that the Arkham Knight mask has that sort of digital rendering on it, where you can see like the brain and things like that. I thought that was a really cool design feature, and it's a shame that that hasn't come across on the figure. But visually, really awesome. I love the red and black camo that he's got on there. I thought the Arkham Knight himself was a really good character. I just wasn't a fan of how obvious it was given away in the story. You can see, obviously, lots of nice detail on things like the armor plating. DC Collectibles have done a really, really good job of making this guy exceptionally detailed. Very nice, even just on the utility belt, the smoke grenades. One thing that I think is a little bit interesting is these ankle and also elbow guards. They've got like a weird separate bit that isn't attached to anything, and I'm not quite sure what purpose that serves. But otherwise, really cool. And here we've got Arkham Knight with some of the other figures from the game. In terms of accessories, he does come with the elongated sniper rifle, which is basically just the two pistols that you get with Red Hood combined together to form this, which I guess he used as part of the boss battle. But again, I was really disappointed that they didn't have a hand-to-hand combat fight with the Arkham Knight, especially considering how much of a I guess enjoyable experience that would have been, given that Rocksteady in the past, with a lot of their level designs and boss battles, tend to do a really good job, and I think this game was probably the worst for boss battles. They showed in Arkham Origins with the Deathstroke boss battle that it can be done. A really good hand-to-hand combat fight can be dynamic. Same sort of thing with Mr. Freeze and Bane and all that sort of stuff. So to have a real absence of boss battles, I mean, you fight him in the helicopter, and then most of the time it's really just all vehicles. So that was a little bit disappointing. Now I will, just for comparison, show you guys how he stacks up against the Red Hood. You can see the mask is pretty much identical. They are releasing late this year, early next year, another version which is like the midway point after he gives up the Arkham Knight persona and becomes Red Hood, but while he still wears the Arkham Knight armor. So that actually looks like a decent figure, which I'm going to try and pick up as well. But as you can see, obviously, much sleeker when he becomes the Red Hood. I think I prefer the Arkham Knight attire much more. Just a really awesome, really badass looking figure. Now, in terms of articulation, he's got a ball-jointed head, ball-jointed arms, which are not limited because the armor plates on the shoulder are made out of like a soft rubber. So it does bend, but it is really stiff. Hopefully you guys can see that there. Ball-jointed elbows, ball-jointed wrists. I love that he's got the swivel. He's also got the ab crunch, which is very cool. No waist articulation, but that's because we get it more in the torso area there. Ball-jointed legs, swivel in the calf, double bend in the knees, no movement in the actual boot, but then ball-jointed ankles. So a decent range of articulation, which is very nice to see. If you're a Batman fan, then 100% I think this guy is a must-have. He's probably my favourite of the set, although having said that, all the Arkham Knight figures are fantastic. DC Collectibles have done an excellent job. This guy is no exception to that. I think he's the most detailed of all of them, even more so than the Batman. Great colour scheme, great design, great articulation, decent accessory as well. I think he's a must-have. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed this review on the Batman Arkham Knight.